Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Maximus the Fourth. What I have to present to you guys today is the very classic and older iconic soda, Pepsi Twist. Today, all I plan on doing is giving you guys the complete history lesson to the best of my ability of Pepsi Twist. I will then open this up, give you guys a taste test, letting you know exactly what I think about it, and then that'll be the end of the video. But before I have anything to do with Pepsi Twist, as a lot of you guys already know, my grandfather has just recently passed away on Friday. And today I'm going to tell you guys a really epic story about him and share a few things with you about just the kind of man he was. My grandfather was a true gentleman. He once told me, "I've never made fun of anyone." Really? No. I've never made fun of anyone my entire life. I've just never had the urge to do something like that. My grandfather was such a sweet soul, a true gentleman. He was never ever out to disrespect anybody for anything. But I'll tell you what, if you picked a fight with him or disrespect him in any way, there was going to be some hell to pay, especially if you didn't get it the first time. And what I can tell you about my grandfather is he was such a gentleman that he never made one inappropriate sexual joke to my grandmother, ever. Not one. He was incredibly amazing. Let me tell you guys a story. I think he had gotten out of the army, had just gotten out of the army when this happened, or something. This was probably in the 50s, in the 60s. He was born in 1940. So he was at a barber shop, and the barber, when it was his turn to get his haircut, for no reason took the clippers and just completely buzzed the middle of his head. It was like a reverse mohawk. And he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing? What the heck are you doing? You just cut my hair, just butchered it." And there was a bystander that was in there too that gotten his haircuts by the same barber very regularly. This guy was actually a professional boxer. He stood up, he's all like, "Hey, nobody talks to my barber like that. Don't do that. I will kick your ass." My grandfather immediately stands up. He's all like, "Well, son of a bitch, here I am." So here they are. My grandfather is squaring off with this pro boxer, and immediately, boom, he's throwing hands. My grandfather, he was a counter puncher, and he was freakishly strong. So this boxer, he's like, boom, 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 pop, 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 pop. And he's hitting my grandfather, peppering him. And my grandfather, he's fending off some of these shots, ducking his head, bobbing and weaving, doing what he can to hold off some of these punches, because he can't block every single one of them or dodge them. He gets hit a couple times. And like I said, this guy, he wasn't hurting my grandfather, but he was peppering him. And then all of a sudden, my grandfather finds an opening and just goes, pop! Boom! Hits him right above the eyebrow and drops him. Split his eyebrow right open. Huge deep cut, right? So what happens is this guy gets back up. He's a pretty tough guy. He can take a shot. He gets back up. He squares off with my grandfather again, and back then people had class. They wouldn't just jump on you and start wailing on you when you were down. So he lets him stand back up. Boom. They're at it again, squaring off, This guy, he's a better boxer than my grandfather. Boom. Pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Same thing. My grandfather, he's just bobbing, weaving, dodging some of the shots, trying to hold him off as best he can. Finds another opening and boom! Hits him right below his eye. Freaking drops him again. Splits him right open. And by this point, this guy is just in agony. And afterwards, he's crying to the barber or something. He's like, "Oh man, nobody ever put me down on the streets. Nobody." And then there was another guy, he's like, "Oh, You didn't realize that Tony kid's pretty tough, isn't he? Yeah. So this guy's bawling his eyes out. He's like, hey, he goes over to my grandfather. He's like, hey, man, in a couple weeks or so, man, we can finish this. You can come over to my house. Well, I got a backyard. We'll finish this, man. My grandfather's like, yo, hey, man. Man, come on. Man, get yourself together. Okay? I already beat you. It's done and over with. We're done. No, hey, listen, man. I am stronger than you are. You don't need to be doing this, okay? I am stronger than you. So he convinced the guy that the fight was over. There was going to be no settling. He already kicked his butt, and that was it. And that, you guys, is the story, the legendary tale of my grandfather, Tony Davis, for the day. Let's get into Pepsi Twist. Here we go. Pepsi Twist was initially released in the United States of July 12th of 2000. And then it came back again in June 12th of 2001, until it was discontinued in the summer of 2006. Pepsi also launched a similar flavor of Pepsi Twist that landed in India. This was in 2002, and this flavor was called Pepsi Aha. And this flavor also had lemon in it. The initial run of Pepsi Twist that was released in the US for the second time did last all the way up until 2006. It was then discontinued, but then it came back in 2008 and it was renamed as NFL Kickoff. This was also a limited run, and then eventually it was discontinued once again. Pepsi Twist is still available in Europe and parts of Asia. Pepsi Twist was a lemon flavor cola of Pepsi, to give you the description. It's similar to a flavor that has a very similar lemon cola shade to it, in which is Coca-Cola Lemon. And before Pepsi Twist was initially released in 2000, at the very end of 1999 and at the very beginning of 2000, PepsiCo conducted a taste testing period in which Pepsi Twist got taste tested in certain areas. One of is malls of some kind, where lucky people got to do a survey. The survey that was given to people, they were given a six-pack to taste test Pepsi Twist. And to give their review of Pepsi Twist, Pepsi Twist was also released in very many different countries like Canada in 2001. And this was after the American release. Also, Japan had received Pepsi Twist at the very end of 2001, as well as a diet variation of Pepsi Twist in which they were in vending machines. And this run lasted until the early 2010s. This also did land in Thailand in 2002 to 2009, as well as Belgium in 2002 until the mid-2000s. And there in Belgium, it was used to promote the Lord of the Rings movie. Pepsi Twist was also released in Germany in 2002, and as late as 2022, as far as the reports are showing, it is still in Germany to this very day, and they absolutely love their Pepsi Twist there. Also, Pepsi Twist did land in Pakistan in 2006, but ultimately it failed to really capture the attention in most markets. However, to this very day, it still is available in some supermarkets. This also did land in the Philippines in 2002, and it was instantly a hit among teenagers, but ultimately failed to really capture markets. Also, Czech Republic and Slovakia in 2002, as well as a diet variation of Pepsi Twist that landed there as well in 2003, in which it was known as Pepsi Twist Light for the diet version there. And as of October 2023, both variations are still being sold there to this very day. This also landed in Romania, but its name was known as Pepsi Twist Lemon, and the diet version is known as Pepsi Twist Lemon Light. But there is no real date of when Pepsi Twist did land there. It was also introduced in Poland for 2002, in the summer of 2002 in Poland. And then 10 years later in 2012, Pepsi Twist Light, which was known as the diet variation, was first introduced in Poland. And last but not least, Brazil also received this flavor, but they used lime instead of lemon. And also a limited edition version was also released in Brazil. And this one was known as Pepsi Twistao. Twist and then A-O. That's it. And it had an even stronger lime flavor than the original version. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is for the most part the complete history of Pepsi Twist. And what I have here just so happens to be a can of Pepsi Twist from Poland. If you just scan the can real quick, I don't know if you know certain languages, but you can very, very quickly tell that those are absolutely not American words. Poland is where this can is from. And I didn't really take the time to do any research to see if there were the same ingredients in Pepsi Twist in Poland or really anywhere else as the States, but I'm pretty sure it's the same ingredients as the original release of Pepsi Twist in 2000 in the US because it's tagged as the same thing, Pepsi Twist. It's just a dark cola with a flavor of lemon, and that's really all you need to know. I'm pretty sure this is the same exact ingredients, but in case there's not, I will do another video where I read the ingredients of a foreign soda can and a American soda can, and I can easily get that information from my buddy DJ Glowing Ice. I know he has an original bottle of Pepsi Twist from 2001 from the American release. Let's open up this freaking Pepsi Twist and see what we're dealing with in honor of Papa Tony, baby. Oh, wow. Right off the bat, boom, smells like normal Pepsi. But you're definitely smelling a very robust, beautiful lemon flavor. I'm excited about this. I might have tried Pepsi Twist when it first came out back in 2001. What I can tell you guys, though, is that the World Series between the San Francisco Giants and the Anaheim Angels was actually going on too during that time in 2002, because this did last until, I don't know, it said, I think 2006. You guys got the information. Let's try this thing out. Oh, I am really, really excited about this. If I've tried Pepsi Twist, I don't remember anything about it. But it looks to be a very, very simple cola with the caramel color. Let's give this a shot. Pepsi Twist, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Oh man, that is good. That is absolutely delicious. If you just imagine normal Pepsi. Oh, wow, that is good. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now, Pepsi Twist? That is amazing. Wow, that is such an even blend of Pepsi and lemon. They did an incredibly good job on this one, guys. I I can't believe it. That is wonderful. This brings me back to nostalgic memories of when my Nana Margie was still around, and it even gives me memories with my Papa Bug, you know, because it just has the taste of nostalgia. Boom. Perfect even blend of normal Pepsi and lemon. I can't say enough good things about Pepsi Twist. Man, that is so good. Ooh, I love it. Boom. Perfect Pepsi flavor, perfect lemon. I don't know how else to explain it. It just tastes like an absolute perfect can of Pepsi with a beautifully blended and perfect concoction of lemon with the Pepsi. Pepsi Twist, ladies and gentlemen, is an absolute winner. I give it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching.